Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Sunday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. Um, in fighting, not that I'm a fighter or anything, but in fighting, you can have a great round, right? You can have a wonderful round, and what they call it in the last, let's say, 30 seconds of the round, the other guy can come back and what they call steal the round, which means he can really work extra that 30 seconds, if you would, and he can steal the round, right? So sometimes a day is like that. Sometimes you are on your way to squeezing the heck out of your day, and then boom, something happens, and a little twist um, will will take effect, and everything will change, right? And all of a sudden, the day's got a hold of you and squeezing more out of you than you it. So anyway, mine was like that today. I think I got squeezed out at the end. Anyway, it's a day. Tomorrow is a brand new day. We roll with the punches. So today, I want to talk about a really neat little phrase or concept. You know how you say, "Oh, I'd be so glad when this happens." Like, let's say, for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say your kids, right? You say, "Oh, I'd be so glad when he's out of Pampers," or "I'd be so glad when he goes to school," or "Oh, I'd be so glad when he's in high school and college and married. Oh, I'd be so glad when this thing is over." I'll give you another example. "I'd be so glad when this job or this project is done or finished. I'd be so glad when this day is over," right? And on and on and on and on. And of all these, I'd be so glad when, right? And then on the other side, you have this whole phrase turn into a whole different phrase. And that phrase could be devastating, and it could be crucial, could be extremely damaging to your goals, to your dreams, to your success, to your life in general. And I truly believe that. And stay with me, and I'll share my concept with you. So you say, "I'd be so glad." Well, let's use your kid as an example. "I'd be so glad when my kid is moved out, and I'd be so glad when he goes and he gets a job and lives his own life and blah, blah, blah," right? And then, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm not a parent, correct me if I'm wrong, and then you come back when the kid moves out and he's got a wife, and now he's got a house of his own, a home of his own, then you turn around and you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, again, I'm not a parent, but correct me if I'm wrong, you turn around and you say, "Kids, they grow so fast. I wish he would never grow up. I wish he would stay at 4 years old. Oh, I'd wish he was, just learning how to talk again." Don't you say stuff like that? Kids grow up so fast. No? You're not the one who says those things, right? You're not the one who says, oh, I'd be so glad when this kid is out of the house. And then turn around and say, oh, kids grow up so fast, he doesn't even call me. Right? It's not you, right? No. What about this one? I'd be so glad when I'm out of this phase and I'm out of this job and out of this, place. And then you fast forward, let's say 5 years, 10 years, and then you say, oh, time flies so fast. I wish I was young again. I wish I was 20 again. I wish I was 30 again. Do you see how those two completely contradict themselves? Like, how's that even make any sense? On one end, you're wishing this was over, and then on the other side, you're wishing that it wasn't over. Like, go back to, do you get that? How's that even make any sense? On one side, you're so anxious, cannot wait. You'd be so glad when this is over, right? And then you're like, oh, I'd do anything to go back to that time. I'd do anything to do this. I'd do anything to do that. Oh, I'd do anything for my kids to not grow up so fast. I'd do anything to go back to that job or have that project, that crazy schedule again. I'd do anything to be in that relationship again. Right? No? Please, I am asking you to be extremely conscious of when you say, I'd be so glad when. Because I'm not quite sure if you're going to be so glad when it actually happens. Did you catch that? I'm not really sure if you would be. I don't think you would be so glad if that thing happened. So stop wishing upon a star for it, because it will happen if you keep wishing and keep wishing and keep giving it energy all the time. It's gonna happen. And then you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say, oh, gosh, I wish. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I was thinking about that today. I heard that, I don't know where I heard that, but I heard it and I'm like, and then it just kind of hit me. We ask for that. We say, oh, I'd be so glad. And then we're not so glad when that happens, I'm not sure if we are really glad. You know how they say, be careful what you wish for? It almost is like that, You're kind of wishing for that, and then you don't want to, It's like you want to unwish that almost. So, it could be anything. It could be, like I said, it could be a relationship. It could be a parent-child relationship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship. It could be an opportunity. It could be a job. It could be a business start. It could be anything. And then you keep saying, I'd be so glad. And then after it happens, when time goes, you're like, I'm not so glad. I wish I was young again. I wish I was this again. Oh man, if I had that opportunity one more time, if somebody would tell me about that business gig one more time, I can't believe I passed that by. Or that relationship. If I knew that relationship would turn out that way, I would have invested more, or I would have, I don't know, done, I guess, I don't know, whatever, right? So that stuff, it doesn't really make sense when you think about it full circle, right? When you're thinking, okay, am I going to be so glad when it actually does happen? I don't think so. So stop, please. For the love of God, stop saying, I'd be so glad when. And I love the when. It's not like if, it's when. I'd be so glad when this is all over. I'd be so, well, you get the picture. It's not even an if. You throw in when, like you know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. You see that? That's like a problem. You can't be thinking like that and thinking growth and success and progress. That stuff doesn't go together. You know what I mean? You can't be wishing for something to end and then don't contradict yourself, because if you believe in God, universe, whatever you believe in, it's going to be confused by what you're asking. Think about it. Aren't you confused right now? It's going to get confused. So be very intentional and extremely clear in what you're asking for. Otherwise, everybody's going to be confused. And you may get a package that you be like, I don't know if I'm going to have to call Amazon and send this back or what, right? Intentional, clear, precise. And don't ask for dumb things, please. It's not even funny. Even to joke about it, it's not funny. You keep saying it, and we've talked about this before, it finds room in your subconscious. And it's one tenet you cannot get rid of. It's so hard to get rid of that stuff when it sinks in. So please don't. Don't ask for dumb things. Don't ask for things that you know you don't want. Like, that's like common sense. Why would you ask for things that you know you don't want? Like, why? Why would you ask for this thing to end, this job to end, this? I mean, just whatever it may be. Why, when you don't want that really, truly? Anyway, hopefully you guys get some love, some inspiration. This statement was bothering me. You know, it really was, because I hear it and I hear it, and I don't like hearing it, because I just know it's not true. You know what I mean? I know you don't mean it. So it just bugs me. That statement really bugs me. And I was reminded by it today again. So I hope you got some love, some inspiration, some value from this live. I appreciate you guys. Hey, if you got an idea, if you got a story that you want to share, drop your thoughts below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. Man, all of a sudden it got so chilly, I'm telling you. But hopefully you guys got some love. But I want to know about what your take is, what your feedback is, and if you got a story that plugs into this, you want to share, drop your comments below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. And remember, if you share, you show that you care. Until tomorrow, when we do it all over again. Much love.